Bring on the guides.
Start your combat!
High ground.
Hi, this is the Professional Amateur Hour coming to you with another review. This week, I checked out DEATHSPORT, and this 1978 movie stars David Carradine, Claudia Jennings, Richard Lynch, among others, of course. The story of this movie involves kind of this post-apocalyptic world where after a war has kind of like nuked the whole planet, there's the city-states that arise, and so they, war with each other. But there's also like nomads that, travel in between cities and whatnot, live out in the wasteland. And for one city, their, propaganda campaign is to capture some nomads. And they have a special type of nomad called a guide or something. And they're like super skilled and that type of stuff. So they capture 2 of those to fight in their death sport. The death sport itself, what is it? Well, it is kind of the new form of punishment if you are caught doing a crime or something that the dictator doesn't like. Instead of doing, jail time, you do a round of death sport. And if you do win, you get your freedom. And of course, if you lose, you're dead. Anyway, so they capture these 2 guides as part of their propaganda to fight in death sport. But what will happen exactly? Well, you'll have to watch the movie and find out. Alright, so let's discuss this movie. Well, what works about it? Well, I was actually surprised with this one because there is actually quite a lot of depth into the world. It is kind of like a rip-off movie of other movies, and we'll talk about that. But they actually kind of think about their world and how, the city-states are at war and how they do propaganda, and all of that's kind of clever, as well as with the nomads and their kind of society and how their society works and their honor code is, decently thought out as well. And so there actually seems to be some pre-production stuff like that they do put in that just goes a long way in this movie, I thought. In addition, this movie does try to, rip off other movies. And so they have kind of this lightsaber sword is what I'm going to call it. It's just kind of like a clear plastic sword. I don't know if there's a name for that. Is it plexiglass or something? But it's this clear plastic, or maybe it's a resin or something. It looks pretty cool, but very, very 70s, I would say. Very funny as well, having this plastic sword that they're swinging around. But I did enjoy it. I thought it was an interesting thing to see. It's clearly, copying a lightsaber. But yeah, it's pretty interesting, and the way they hold it changes kind of the angle and how the light shines through it. So sometimes it looks like there's like a beam on the middle, but sometimes it looks like it's not, and it's a really, really cool prop. If you're a prop maker, you might want to watch this one just to see this prop and see if it's something that you would like to have. Maybe I can clip it in here for you. And so you can see it's just like a clear plastic sword, and I don't know, I thought it was good. Other than that, with the acting, David Carradine, he's Bill from Kill Bill, and so he always struck me as someone who tries to really inhabit the roles and put their heart into it. I actually think all of the actors really try to put their heart into it, which is good to see. Whether or not they're good at acting or not is another question, but at least they're showing heart, right? And that brings me to what doesn't work with this film. Well, like I said, it is a rip-off film. And with this film, it came out in 78, so the year before Star Wars came out, and the year before that, Logan's Run came out. And it's this kind of a combination of Logan's Run and Star Wars. And so it's not very original. It's very kind of corny that way, less well put together, less budget, of course, as well. And so that just, takes away from the movie, I would say. Other than that, the editing. Oh my gosh, the editing is atrocious in this movie. Things just happen and things just explode for no reason. There won't be anything around and they just explode. I don't understand it, and it's just edited terribly that way. People will drive off, you don't even know who they are, and then they'll explode, and then the main characters will drive in the opposite direction. And you're just why did any of that happen? Here, maybe I can show this to you. And so the editing, I would say, is one of the bigger problems with this movie, for sure. Also, like, all of the props are really kind of cheap. Like, I've already mentioned the sword, but I did enjoy the sword for other reasons, but it is just terrible. Also, they have, like, a laser gun, but it's just like a flashlight gun, and then, they do stuff in post, but that is a ridiculous little flashlight that they use to vaporize people. Here, maybe I can clip this in. Other than that, they have, left in mistakes. Like I said with the editing, it's just mistakes. Like when you first see the sword as well, like he just has to like flip it over and it looks really chintzy. And I'll clip that in here for you too. And so with the bad props, the bad editing, the bad mistakes, it all works together to be not very good. Oh, and another thing, the score. The score is terrible. It's, of course, like a 70s score, but it is not very good at all. Very, actually, distracting, I thought. And there is some special effects, overlaying on the screen and whatnot, and it is not done very well. I'll say that. It's just like changing the color or something, or a little sound wave that passes by. But yeah, it's not very good. It is very 70s, I'll say that. But yeah, not something to write home about. So who would I recommend this movie for? Well, truthfully, I don't think I can recommend it to anyone in good faith. Maybe if you're really into 70s sci-fi and that's your whole thing, then sure, you can check it out. But other than that, I can't really recommend it. It is on YouTube, so if you're looking for it, you can check it out there. But yeah, I can't recommend this one. As for a rating, I think I gotta give it the score of 3, and that is the score of meh. It is very kind of not good, like I said. I probably could have done like a score of 2 and been fine with it, but I thought, meh, whatever, it's fine. And with that being said, I think that's all I wanted to say. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.